Greetings, everyone. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is SIT Serious Center Temple, and today we were going to be dealing with a certain type of extraterrestrial race of beings that live on a certain part of the galaxy, and we're going to be dealing with the Mantis extraterrestrial, the insectoid or the insectilian extraterrestrial, and all you need to know about them, the good and the bad. And believe me, you know, the negative will show eventually in this video. Now let's roll it. Let's do this, guys.
Greetings, friends of the universe. Today we are going to talk about the Mantis extraterrestrial race. Who are the Mantis? Where did they came from? And what is their agenda on Earth? Let's start. Mantis aliens are perhaps the most mysterious and unsettling of all extraterrestrial creatures. These beings are from the Sombrero Galaxy, which is 28 million light-years from Earth. The Mantis race evolved hundreds of millions of years ago on an insectoid planet full of all kinds of insects unknown to us. They became the first to develop advanced self-awareness. They developed the use of tools, but in unison, they became highly sensitive to sound and light, and its reflection in colors. The Mantis extraterrestrials are an insectoid beings that have features similar to the praying mantis insects of Earth, but they stand upright and are at least 8 to 9 feet tall. The mantis have long, thin torsos. Their necks, arms, and hands have additional joints. Their heads are insect-like and triangular, with large, slanted eyes of deep brown to black. Most mantis extraterrestrials are described as green, but other colors, such as dark brown and black, have also been encountered. Their bodies are composed of a segmented exoskeleton, and some abductees have reported that the mantis seem to be coated in an oily substance. Mantis are often encountered wearing long robes in a variety of colors, perhaps signifying rank, while some are unclothed. I'm going to show you a news report of mantis encounter caught on camera in Taiwan, China. I couldn't find a translation for the video, but the graphics speak for itself.
好，台湾难道现在出现外星人的踪影吗？国内飞碟协会公布了一张，这是民众呢在台东嘉明湖拍到照片，原本应该是高经过再三的鉴定，发现这张照片是没有经过修改的，造假的，让协会是高度的怀疑，很有可能这就是外星人。
It was trying to phase
高
back
山美
into
景
the
的山
fourth
坡上，
dimension.
乍看之下没什么，但把画面拉近，仔
You guys
细
will
瞧，
see that
就在
soon
山丘的
here.
左侧，似乎有个形状和人相似的透明不明物体。近一点看，更发现头部呈圆锥状，形似螳螂，双手有蹼的形状，推判身高大约250公分，而且眼神似乎往摄影者的方向看。这是一名陈先生去年5月25号在台东嘉明湖拍摄到的照片，回家后才惊觉。
The Taiwan Ufology Society came into possession of the photograph after it was snapped on an iPhone by Chen Young Wang, a police officer enjoying a weekend hike at Jiaming Lake. After noticing the image contained something that didn't look quite right, namely that there was a tall, half-invisible, mantis creature lurking in the photo, he sent the picture off to Huan Chao Ming, the head of the Taiwan Ufology Society, for an opinion. Huan then spent an entire year having photography, cellular technology, and image forensics experts check the photo out. So far, no one has been able to come to a conclusive explanation for the strange creature, with guesses ranging everywhere from faulty flash memory to invaders from outer space. One of the photo experts consulted about the image doesn't believe it has been edited in any way, pointing out the double exposure lines around the alien, indicating the phone was probably in motion when the photo was taken. This means that something was indeed standing on the mountain's ridge. This is one of the many reports of mantis and other insectoid races being encountered on Earth in our modern time. What is interesting is that there are countless of evidence suggesting that insectoid races visited and interacted with Earth humans thousands of years ago. In parts of Africa, insects are considered the messengers of the gods. On Native American tribes, like the Hopi and Zuni, tell stories about ant people who emerged from beneath the earth and aided their civilization. We can see this ant insectoid beings in many of their ancient drawings. In Egyptian mythology, there is an insectoid god called Khepri. He was associated with the scarab, or dung beetle, making him one of the most famous insectoid gods. In the Kalahari Desert, South Africa, resides one of the oldest existing population on Earth, called the San People. The San People possess a culture dating back approximately 80,000 years. According to the origin story of this ancient society, the first humans were not originally created by gods, but by insects. The San People believe that the origin of humans lies with the praying mantis. They consider that the praying mantis gave early humans the gift of language and fire. The mantis extraterrestrial race uses their special heightened awareness and became highly advanced in the connection and use of frequencies to change their environment and to communicate with each other and their surroundings.
Notice the long neck.
In their historical past, mantis were
hands
matriarchal.
are placed in
They
a very
had strong female
insect-like
figures who
praying mantis
dominated their
position.
cultures. Higher dimensional beings have created a more balanced arrangement with these energies. However, the feminine force is still regarded highly, and one would not want to diminish this power with a mantis around. In the mantis society, no decision is ever made without the female aspect first being taken in, and it has the final say on the matter. The mantis beings are masters with vibrations of sound and color. They use this mastery to heal and create. They're artists of universal light. They dance through frequencies and alter their surroundings as they do so. Mantis beings need the flexibility to do their fluid dance, and they truly love their work to be admired and the blessings of it to be received. The mantis create bubble-like force fields to travel through time and space. In lower dimensions, they create living spherical ships of light. In higher dimensions, they can send their light bodies in single bubbles of light across the universe. The mantis race appears within many abduction scenarios, with abductees reporting the ominous presence of these entities looming over them as they wake in the dead of night in an unknown spacecraft. While the mantis is not as widely reported as the gray aliens or the Pleiadians, it still holds an important role within many extraterrestrial contact scenarios. Although the mantis tend to communicate with human abductees using telepathic messages, they have been witnessed engaging each other using an auditory language. Several contactees have described the mantis language as a series of clicking sounds exchanged between the creatures. The mantis tend to be overseers and often appear to be in leadership positions of power during an abduction. Generally, a mantis will be accompanied by several small gray aliens who seem to do its bidding. These small grays are assumed to be drone beings controlled by a hive mind and utilized by a variety of extraterrestrial races. The mantis are commonly involved in abductions that include both medical procedures and instances of interrogation. During an abduction, the mantis race use their telepathic ability to seed a sense of calmness in people's mind, and they stop being afraid. Many people state that when they encountered a mantis being, the mantis talked to them telepathically, sending comfortable words in their mind and eliminating the extreme fear in abductees. The perceived motivation of the mantis in regards to human abduction is somewhat mysterious. Some contactees describe these creatures as positive, uplifting beings who seek to protect humanity and the earth. One common thread found among many abduction scenarios is centered around the use of holographic projections as a means of education. Abductees often report mantis beings showing them holographic images of the destruction of planet Earth. to illustrate the possible negative impact that our species could have upon the planet. Others have reported an increase in psychic abilities after the abduction. However, some return from their experiences with the mantis with a darker point of view, stating that the mantis wished to conquer and control Earth rather than aid in human ascension. Some believe that a mantis hybridization program is currently taking place using human DNA to create a new insectoid species. Some abductees report the presence of tall blacks, a creature thought to be such a hybridization. Experiencers describe these beings as incredibly tall and more humanoid than insectoid, with black skin, extremely long limbs, and extra joints on their appendages. These abduction scenarios are very similar to those involving mantis aliens and seem to evolve around medical experiments. The most chilling feature of the tall blacks encountered by many abductees are their glowing red eyes. Regardless of the true motivation of the mantis species, their interest in human DNA and behavior is obvious based on abductee accounts. The most well-known abduction story was from Linda Porter and occurred in 1963 in Covina, California. You can research this story and find all the incredible details described by Linda. I'm going to tell you a different abduction story, which I found very interesting, written by a person using the name Marlene. This is her story. Several years ago, I had a series of alien abduction dreams. They were psychic experiences, which means that my body was still in my bed, but my soul was abducted. There are two kinds of abductions, physical and psychic.
Let me pause that for you guys for a second. The reason why these extraterrestrial beings can abduct you is because you keep eating the meat, the flesh, the blood, the meat. It keeps you guys at a lower frequency along with them. They're at a lower frequency. If you eat high vibrational foods and go vegan, they cannot abduct you because your energy field is on a positive charge. They need a negative charge. They need you to be vibrating low like on a beast state, like an animal, or lower than that, in order to keep you at a lower vibration. This is how they do experimentations on you. This is how they abduct you. They need you at a lower frequency, and most people eat meat. That's why it keeps happening.
In one of my dreams, I was abducted by insectoids. That is what I called them at the time, since I had no point of reference. I had never before heard of insect-like aliens. They are very tall, up to 4 times the height of humans, and more. The experience was so real that I was convinced it was not merely a dream, but was an actual abduction. I was taken to a different planet, where these creatures had a human slave force building things, because I saw some humans under heavy labor carrying huge stones in a kind of parade with these tall insectoids guarding them as they walked towards wherever they were going. At the time of the experience, I did not know who abducted me or where I was. I was able to somehow escape, and I hid, and I saw them with a group of about 75 or so humans. I saw about 5 or 6 insectoids with them. They had weapons in their hands. Being open here with this kind of stuff is grounds for ridicule and judgment as to my mental state, but I can assure you that all that I have written here as to what I experienced is true. I do not lie. I actually woke up on a spacecraft, more like a saucer-shaped delivery bus. It was dark, but there was light coming in from small windows encircling the craft. It was not big, perhaps about 25 to 30 feet in diameter, I guess, from what I saw from the inside of the craft. It was used to transport people. I woke up in this craft, and I was lying on the floor. When I opened my eyes, I saw about 8 to 10 others, lying unconscious on the floor next to me. It was an open area. I did not see who was driving, or any aliens, just sleeping humans. I got up and went to the window, and could see that we were flying over houses, like military-style houses, basically all looking the same way from the top. We were coming into land, because we were directly above the houses. It was daytime, and sunny, but kind of yellowish. I think the aliens learned that I was awake and probably drugged me some more back to sleep, because when I became conscious again, it seemed that I had escaped because I found myself alone and hiding under a very high overpass. I was hiding next to the columns. It was then I saw the insectoids walking with their human slaves, who all had huge rocks on their backs, and they were dressed in rags and looked terrible. I was about 30-40 yards away. I remember looking up to the sky and saw that it was yellowish instead of blue, and realized that this was not Earth, and I had to get out of there. I did think of getting home, and then I was in my bed, and I was startled right out of sleep, because I knew that I had just been abducted, and that dream was indeed real. I did not really believe it, so as to tell it to someone, because I had never before heard of insect-like aliens, and I knew a bit about aliens. It was perhaps 3 or 4 years ago, I heard a woman on the radio speaking about these creatures, and it blew my mind. They were like praying mantis, and they are an actual alien species that interacts with us. I have seen 3 kinds of aliens: the small greys, the insectoids, and there are those who are like soldiers, dressed almost like starship troopers, like soldiers. Do not know who they are, but they are not completely human. I met these ones after being abducted, and escaped again, somewhere that was not Earth. I believe I was on the moon. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and click the notification
So now you guys understand
to get notified
why I make these videos. There are extraterrestrial beings confusing the masses down here, and we need to know more about them in order to understand reality. Now, with that being said, this is SIT, Sirius Inner Temple. Thanks you guys for watching, and I'll be making more interesting videos soon. Goodbye, guys, and have a wonderful day. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And catch my next video, possibly this week or next week. And these beings they're coming off like soldiers and stuff like that. A lot of these ones are part of your Galactic Federation, which is false. It's fake. It's just another scheme, another scam to confuse the masses, trick humanity into becoming a slave race on this matrix system, this third world corporeal dimension. The aliens don't want you to know that you're more psychic and more powerful than even them. Yes, watch all of my videos, guys. A lot of interesting stuff coming. Alright, guys. Peace out. Love you guys.